And officials there in Cook County say they will proceed with the elimination of cash bail on January 1st after a ruling by a circuit court judge held portions of the controversial SAFE-T Act were unconstitutional. The state's attorney general says he now plans to take it to the state Supreme Court.
These are people who have not been convicted of offenses. These are people who have been arrested. And we're making decisions in many cases, and sometimes for some minor offenses, that people should be detained because they can't afford to bond themselves out. Oftentimes, we've had people spend more time in jail than they would have been sentenced had they been convicted of the crime day one. And that makes no sense whatsoever.
To help us sort through this, we're joined now by NBC News correspondent Shaquille Brewster, live from Chicago. Shaq, good morning. So explain to us here, if you can, what's at issue and what some of the pushback is on it.
Good morning, Willie. Well, this is all about the elimination of cash bail. Illinois Attorney General telling me that he will immediately appeal this ruling that essentially allows most counties in the state to at least delay implementation, even as the most populous counties plow ahead. When this law was passed just months after the murder of George Floyd, it was seen as both a major criminal justice victory, but also a serious liability. Now, in just a few short days, it will become a reality.
As crime-focused ads flooded television airwaves this fall,
the lawlessness of Chicago will soon be the law statewide.
A sweeping new law in Illinois took center stage in conservative messaging.
Didn't Illinois just pass some new law? The purge law.
Illinois attempting to become the first state in the country to abolish cash bail. If the law survives legal challenges, those accused of crimes will no longer need to pay a dollar amount to be released. Instead, judges will determine detention based on if the person poses a threat, eliminating the wealth-based advantage.
In the 35 years that I've been a prosecutor, this is probably the biggest change in the criminal justice system that I have ever seen.
DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin was used in ads attacking the law.
We are going to have violent criminals out on the street.
He and other states' attorneys secured changes signed into law this month.
I was a vocal critic back then, but with this amendment, that's changed everything. Judges have the tools to detain violent criminals, to detain defendants who are likely to commit other offenses, and put the community at risk.
Chicago's chief public defender, Sharon Mitchell, has been opposed to the existing bail system for years.
We're moving to a system that's more serious, a system that's more informed, and a system that's more fair and just.
A federal government report shows that more than 60% of defendants are detained pre-trial because they can't afford to post bail. The report finding stark racial and gender disparities, with young black men over 50% more likely to be detained pre-trial than white defendants.
If you look at the jail population, it's much more reflective of who has access to money as opposed to who's been determined to be at risk of flight or risk of public safety.
During the height of the pandemic in 2020, Trey Dozier spent 3 months in a Chicago jail when he couldn't post bond.
The anxiety and the fear of just knowing with every passing day when I'm in jail, the rest of my life is basically falling apart, is in free fall because of this situation, which I was seeing as just a misunderstanding that needed to be sorted out.
After his partner's TikTok post about their experience went viral,
he was forced to ration his insulin, which led him to go missing 3 times because of dementia from his diabetes. And this last time he went missing, he was obviously confused and accidentally opened a lady's passenger car door, and police on the street assumed that he was stealing the car.
The Bail Project stepped in to help pay the $10,000 required to secure his release.
The new law would have given somebody the opportunity to actually look at the real, true circumstances of my situation, my arrest.
Do you think without the financial assistance from the Bail Project, you would still be in jail right now?
Yes, I do.
Now, Willie, Republicans in the state of Illinois have been opposed to this legislation, yesterday celebrating the ruling, saying that this is essentially a solution in search of a problem. It's also important to note that the SAFE-T Act is not just about cash bail. There are a slew of other police accountability and reform measures, things like decertification processes, ban on chokeholds and neck restraints. Even you have provisions that set new training standards for police departments across the state. There's also victim right reforms in this legislation. Willie, this is a massive change in the state of Illinois, and that's why you're getting some of that pushback. But as things currently stand right now, it will be implemented on January 1st.
All right, NBC's Shaq Brewster reporting for us from